All right. So, good evening. My name is Brooke Blankenship, and welcome to Wednesday evening yoga. We are going to be talking about our first chakra today, the Muladhara. So we're going to be working on basically our root, okay, like grounding through the root of our body. Let me tell you a little bit about the root chakra. So the root chakra, like we said, is located in the base of the spine. The element of earth, it's the element of earth. The color is red. And when our first chakra is in balance, we feel grounded and safe. So today we're going to focus on the eliminatory system, the base of the body, the legs, and the feet through a variety of standing poses. Okay, so we're going to begin simple seated. If you have a blanket or a pillow and you want to elevate your hips, feel free to do so. We're going to be here for a few minutes. We are going to just work on grounding ourselves using the Guyana mudra. Okay, so the Guyana mudra is probably the most famous one. It's the one that we're all kind of familiar with and is very popular, used throughout yoga. Our thumb and our forefinger are going to come together. We're going to flip our palms up, okay? And the fingers are just kind of let the fingers go, let them loose. So connecting your hands to the back of your knees, I want you to just start to come into your breath. You can close the eyes, just gently close the eyes, and start really focusing on each inhale and exhale. And I really want you to focus on, as the inhale comes in, and follow it down the track, through the lungs, down into the stomach, and settling there. Imagine it settling there at the base of your spine in your root chakra. Allowing any other thoughts from the day to fade away, and just to focus your intention on your breath and its pathway down into the root chakra. Gently allowing the eyes to open. Or keep them closed if you wish. We're going to take a big breath in, and I want you to repeat these mantras as we take our breath out after me, okay? Big breath in. I am safe. Big breath in. I am abundant. I am wealthy. I am prosperous. I am strong. I am stable. I am secure. I am courageous. I am powerful. I am grounded. I am successful. I am protected. I am secure. I am in control. After you finish your last, shutting down the eyes and just returning the breath to normal for 1 second, allowing the palms to come down to the knees, resting on top of the knees, and just grounding, feeling that grounding through the earth and through the body. Fluttering open the eyes and making our way to tabletop. So in our tabletop position, we're going to start with some cat-cows, waking up the spine, making sure that your shoulders, elbows, and wrists are in line. Knees and hips are in line. Pressing down into those fingertips, so much so that you feel the bottom of the palm almost lifting away a little bit, like a little cave underneath there. And then pressing through or allowing the belly to come down to the ground and pulling through the chest as we look up, breathing in and then exhaling as we round the back in cat. Inhale to cat, cow. Exhale to cat. Keep flowing, following the breath. We'll do this 2 more times. Then we're going to find some free movement in our cat-cow. So maybe swaying the hips from side to side, leaning forward or back on the wrists. Finding some movement, whatever feels good, just go there with your body tonight. And then finding some stillness on the mat. Making sure that your knees or your wrists, shoulders, and elbows are not out of alignment. We're going to warm up the core a little bit now. So I want you to take the feet, the tops of the feet, and press them into the mat. Keep the back straight, okay? So keep the back and the spine elongated. Pull the belly button into the spine. And then press into the floor, looking straight down in front of you. Big breath in and out. In and release. Coming back into child's pose and resting. Coming back up into our tabletop position. This time we're going to go through some sunbird. So sunbird is opposite arms, opposite legs. So we're going to lift our left leg back behind us, not lifting it too high, but just keeping the hips in line. Your left hip is going to want to go back with your hip, with your foot. Try to center or bring your hips in line with one another. So pulling the right hip back and pulling the left hip forward. You should be firing up in all of your muscles right now, your glute, your calf, everything. Toes pointed down to the floor, bringing the opposite arm, the right arm, up in front of you. Stretching through the fingertips. Big breath in. Let it go. Again. Let it go. One more time. Drop it down. Other side. So you're going to lift that right foot back. Again, we're going to engage through all the muscles of the leg, okay? And pull that right hip forward so it's not going all the way back, okay? So pull it so it's more in line with the left. Lifting the left hand up, finding your balance. Big breath in and out. Last one. Set it down. Sink back into a child's pose. Coming back up. We're going to do that sunbird one more time, okay? So, pressing back through your left foot. Again, readjusting the hips so that they're more in line, bringing the right hand up, feeling that line of energy that goes all the way through the heel to the fingertips. Big breath in and out, pulling that belly button into the spine. Last breath in, and drop it down. Opposite side, so pressing back through that foot, firing up through the glutes. Arm comes up, pulling that belly button to the spine. Here we go, big breath in, and out. In, out, in, drop it down, sinking back. Last time into that child's pose. Coming right back up. Warming up our hips a little bit more with some, I believe these are called barrel rolls or hip rolls. So you're gonna bring your hip out wide and we're gonna go around in circles. Trying to keep your upper body completely still. The only thing that should be moving is the hip in the socket. If you haven't switched sides, switch and go the other direction. And then dropping it down. Opposite side. So left foot comes up, rolling around. Switching directions. Dropping the knee down. All right, friends, we're gonna make our way into our downward facing dog, probably the first one of the day. So tucking your toes behind you, sending the hips all the way up, pressing through those fingertips, creating that little cave underneath the palms. Elongating the spine by bending the knees. Bend the knees and make that spine really long. Relax the head and neck. And then maybe straighten the knees. Maybe just try one at a time. Finding a little movement in this down dog. And then finding stillness again. Walking your hands all the way to your feet.
Grabbing opposite elbows and hanging in a ragdoll for just a moment. Finding a bend in your knees so you can lay your chest as close to your thighs as possible. And then rolling all the way back up. So we're going to start with some salutations to the sun, warming our body up a little bit more. Bring your hands down by your side, feeling tall in your mountain pose. So separate your feet just a little bit, okay? Make sure your hip bones and your heels are in line. Bring your shoulders up to your ears, draw them down your back, hold your shoulder blades together. Take the gaze slightly up the wall. Take a big breath in and lift the arms up to the sky, look up. Exhale and float down. Halfway lift, flatten the back. Plant the hands and step the feet back to plank pose. We're going to take it easy to start out with. So lower to knees, chest, chin. Cobra. Back to down dog. Walking the feet all the way to the hands. Halfway lift and fold. Rising up, gathering the hands at the heart. So I showed you the knees, chest, chin way. You can continue to do that for your vinyasa. So basically going from plank to knees, chest, chin, and modifying that chaturanga, which is really difficult for most people. So feel free to do that. I will show you a regular chaturanga now, okay? So here we go. Hands down by the sides, mountain pose, feeling tall and strong, rooting down into the ground and really feeling our feet take up space on the earth. Big breath in and reaching the arms up to the sky, look up at the hands, exhale down. Halfway lift and fold. Step it back, plank pose. Push forward on your tippy toes and float down, hovering above the ground, elbows up, upward dog, and back to downward dog. Taking a big breath in, let it go and step the feet to the hands. Halfway lift and fold. Rise all the way up. Exhaling the hands to the heart. Again, inhale up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, straighten the back. Plant the hands. Step or jump back to plank pose. High plank to low. Upward facing. Back to downward facing. Walk or step the feet to the hands. Halfway lift and fold. Rise all the way up. Hands to the heart. Again, inhale up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Fold. Step it back. High to low through your vinyasa. Step the feet to the hands. Halfway lift and fold. Rising all the way back up. Hands to the heart. Last time, inhaling up. Exhale and fold. Halfway lift. Step it back. Vinyasa. Down dog. Knees out wide. Sink into your child's pose. Options for child's pose here. If this is really hard on your hips or your knees, you can also bring your feet in right below you, your knees in together, okay? And rest the chest on top of the knees. Coming back up and making your way back into a downward facing dog. Beginning with your left foot lifting up behind you. We're going to bring that knee into the elbow, left elbow, and then touching back up. Bring your left knee into your right elbow. Touch it back up. Left knee to nose. Set it down and come on up into a warrior one. So warrior one, we have our toes that are turned almost to the corners of the mat. We've got a nice generous bend in our front knee. Knee is still over the ankle. Our hips are turned toward the front of the mat. So try to pull the left hip back and push the right hip forward. Now take the arms, lift them up overhead. As you do that, can you feel that energy flowing up through your fingertips? I love these warrior poses because they make us feel so powerful. Stay with your breath here. When the body wants to quit, return your focus to the breath. Now bring the hands down by the sides, straighten the front leg. We're going to come into pyramid pose, okay? So walking the hands down the leg, don't keep a micro bend in your left leg, okay? And the hands are not dumping into the leg, they're just resting there for balance. We're feeling that stretch through the back of the left leg, grounding down through all areas of the feet, all four corners. Keeping your focus on a spot in front of your line of vision that's not moving to help focus your balance. And then bringing the hands back down to the ground on either side of the left foot, stepping that left foot back, and through a vinyasa you go, or straight back to downward facing dog, yogi's choice. Right foot comes up behind you. Bringing that right knee to the right elbow. And back up again. Right knee to right elbow. And back up again. To left elbow, I'm sorry, y'all. And then right knee to nose, setting the foot down. We're gonna come up into our warrior one. So angling that foot towards the top corner of the mat, finding that bend, adjusting your hips, and then bringing the arms up on either side. Beautiful, ladies. Nice job. So feeling strong in our warrior pose, breathing in deep and out. Lowering the shoulders away from the ears. And then straightening that leg, bringing the hands down towards the hips. So we're going to come into pyramid now. So remember not to lock this knee out. Keep a little micro bend in that knee. Start to hinge from the hips, and then allow the hands to come down to either side of the shin or the thigh. Maybe your hands can come all the way to the floor. Remember, we're not dumping into it. We're holding the pose with a nice straight back, allowing our hands to rest, but not to dump into our shin. And then bringing the hands down on either side of the foot, stepping it back, and through your vinyasa you go. We're going to go through that same series one more time. This time we're going to go through it a little bit faster, and we're going to add on rotated triangle at the end, okay? So lifting that left foot up to the sky, bring it through, rising up into your warrior one. Adjusting your hips, finding any of those adjustments that helped the first time around for you to really feel this pose, okay? So we're strong, we're fired up in the legs, our hips are faced towards the front of the mat, pulling that belly button in the chest. Don't allow it to go flat out like this. Keep your belly button tucked in, okay? And then arms come up overhead. Straightening the leg, coming into that pyramid. And then we're going to reverse our triangle, okay? We're going to do reverse triangle. So I want you to try to bring your right hand down to the floor. I know some of you guys have blocks, so if you have a block, this is a great place to use it, okay? And we're going to keep those hips faced toward the front of the mat, but we're going to bring our left hand up, okay? And so this really weird twist that intensifies our lateral bend and also intensifies the stretch through the back of the left leg. This time I want you to just drop your hand down, turn your feet so that they're facing one side of your mat, and then just hang in a straddle fold. Turning back towards the front of your mat. Stepping back into a downward facing dog, or if you feel the need to, going through that vinyasa once again to rinse the body out. So high plank to low, upward facing, and back to downward facing. Right foot is going to come up this time, stepping forward. Rising up into that warrior one pose, feeling really strong in our warrior one, grounded through the feet, pressing the left foot, the back edge of that left foot into the mat as much as we can, okay? Pressing through the toes in the right foot, finding that generous bend in the front of the knee and then turning the hips. Straightening the leg and then finding that hinged back into our pyramid. And then finding your hand, your left hand down to either the floor or the block, and then opening that right hand up toward the sky for a reverse triangle. Hand back down to the ground, turning your feet to the opposite side of the mat, and then lowering down again. Maybe you want to walk your hands behind you this time and let the body feel like it's pulling you forward, like it's going to fall backwards. You're going to fall into your back, but you're not. Coming back around through center and back to our downward facing dog. Lower to your knees and watch me for a minute. So we're going to work on an arm balance now. This is one that we've done before, but I'm going to walk you through in baby steps because I think it's important for us to practice it every once in a while so everyone gets stronger. We're going to work on crow or crane today. Okay, so we're going to start in our malasana pose, which is our yogi squat. Okay, so coming up, sticking your toes out towards the sides of your mat, and then coming down into our malasana yogi squat. We're going to start this way today into baby crow. Okay, so this is baby crow. I want you to bring your knees to the outside of your elbows and just start to rock your weight forward. Okay, feeling how that feels. You can start to feel where the weight shifts into the fingertips. Okay, it has that little ooh weightlessness. Maybe you can lift a leg. Maybe you lift another leg. Give it a try. See where you're at today. If you'd like to try the fancy version of crane or crow, some people call it crane as well. So we're going to bring our hands nice and wide down to the ground, feeling rooted through the ground. Then I'm going to walk my toes all the way up to my ankles, bend my elbows, come up onto my toes and bring my knees into my armpits. Now I can rock forward, rock that weight forward into my fingertips, and then I can practice lifting one foot and then maybe the other. See if I can hold it. Just give it a try. Doesn't have to look perfect. Again, all the yoga poses are going to look different in everybody's body. It's just nice for us to give it a try every once in a while and to give ourselves that strengthening that we need. Okay, so awesome. Thank you for trying your crow pose today. Okay, so we're going to come back into that malasana pose at the top of your mat. So bringing your toes to the top of your mat, spreading them out towards the sides. We're going to sink down into our knees, bringing our elbows in toward the insides of our knees, okay? So holding here like a low chair, feeling grounded and rooted. And then bringing your left hand down to the ground, right hand comes up and over. Right hand comes down to the ground, left hand up above you. Switch again. Again. Last time. And then allowing that bottom to come down to the ground ever so gracefully. All right, so coming back to abdominal, we're going to work on our cores in seated boat today. So boat pose in a few different ways. Starting first with your knees bent, feet flat on the floor. You can grab behind your legs, working on straightening your back. So just like we do when we're sitting up nice and tall, and we straighten up our spine, pretend like we have that invisible string that's pulling our spine up. I want you to do the same thing in boat. So elongating through the neck and the spine. And then maybe lifting up your feet, okay? So not allowing your back to start curving like this. So stay up. And the easiest way to feel that is to take your hands behind your legs and pull forward, okay? So you're pulling your heart forward towards your knees, really up towards the ceiling, okay? So if you're comfortable here and you're feeling stable, find your version of boat. Maybe you release your hands, maybe you straighten the legs. Wherever you are, staying with the breath, And then lowering down, lower, 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 all the way, very slowly, all the way to the ground. Nice job, girls. All right, so don't sit up, I just sat up, but I'm going to show you fish pose now, which is the next one that we're gonna do. So you're gonna take your elbows and wriggle them underneath of your shoulders, okay? As much as you can. We're gonna, that's gonna allow you to open up through the heart. We're gonna take those feet and we're gonna point them, okay? So toes are pointed. Then you're gonna allow your head to drop back, opening up through the chest, the shoulders, the neck, the collarbone. Slowly rising back up. And then lowering yourself all the way down. We're going to come into a bridge pose, okay? So bringing your feet in towards your buttocks. Okay? My feet are slippery because apparently I have sand underneath them. I don't know what's going on. All right, so bringing your hands down by your sides to start out with. We're going to lift our hips. And we're gonna, as we lift our hips up, I want you to bring your hands to clasp underneath of you. And just like we did with fish, I want you to wriggle your arms underneath of you. Yeah, like you're bringing your elbows together. And then lift those hips up towards the sky. I like to pigeon toe my feet a little bit here too, so that my knees don't go out all wobbly. Breathing in through the stretch in the front of the body and the back body. Lowering back down. Allowing the feet to come out, the knees to come out wide, soles of the feet to come together. Resting in our reclined round ankle, Supta Baddha Konasana pose. Bringing the hands to the outside of the thighs, pushing them back together. We're coming into bridge once more, bringing those feet in towards the buttocks, lifting up through the hips, bringing the arms underneath of you, and wriggling the elbows together, lifting the chest up towards the chin, towards the sky, pushing through the heels and through the feet to push the hips higher. Lowering back down, allowing the back to come flat. This time, walking the feet out to the sides of the mat and letting the knees tent in together for constructive rest. Take your hands to the bottom of your thighs, right underneath your hip bone, and just push into the top of your thighs. We're going to come back into bridge pose one more time. This time we're going to add a little bit of strength. If you would like to, we're going to raise one leg up, which challenges the balance and adds a little bit of strength to it. So still bringing those hands together to touch, to clasp underneath, wriggling the chest up towards the chin, pushing the hips up towards the sky. And then maybe bringing your leg up to point your toe to the ceiling. Lowering back down. Other leg up. And down. Lift it up, right side. And down. Left side. And down. Last time, right side. Down. Left side. Down. Release the hands. Let the back come down to the mat. Stretch the legs out wide. Rest the hands by the side in corpse pose for just a moment. Allowing the body to reset and neutralize after we've grounded through our bridge. Taking a moment to observe what parts of the body are touching the ground, what parts are connected to the mat, to the earth right now. And then rolling over to your side, pushing yourself back up through seated. So we're going to do a twist now with cow face legs, and then we're going to make our way into a pigeon in our final resting pose. But cow face, so we're going to take our right foot, bring it underneath of our left foot over top of the right. So we're stacking the knees here as much as we can, okay? So you can grab hold of both feet if this is enough for you. If you'd like to add a little bit of a twist, bring the right hand to the left knee, the left hand behind you. Take a big breath in, get really tall and long in your spine, and then twist and look over that right shoulder. Coming back through center, leaning back on your hands, uncrossing and recrossing on the other side. So left leg comes underneath right, right crosses over left, stacking your knees for cow face. Again, finding this seat here and just breathing into the stretch through the hip, or twisting, bringing the left hand to the right knee, right hand behind you. Big breath in, get really tall and long in your spine. And then twisting and looking over the right shoulder. Turning back through center, uncrossing the legs, making your way down to your back. Once more, this time we are going to bring our right foot up to the sky, cross it over your left leg. Okay, so we're going to come into reclined pigeon here. So bringing the hands on either side of the left leg, grabbing behind that thigh, using the elbow to apply a little bit of pressure to the right knee and opening up through that left or right hip. So I want you to imagine your breath swirling down into that hip, giving you more room to grow and expand and stretch. Releasing that foot down to the ground, uncrossing the right leg and crossing over on the other side. So left leg left ankle crosses over right knee, grabbing, lifting that knee up towards the sky and then grabbing behind the leg. Again, using that left elbow to apply a little bit of pressure to the inside of the left thigh, opening up through that left hip. And again, just imagining your breath swirling down into that hip socket, creating more space to grow and expand and strengthen. Releasing the right foot to the ground. Bringing your left foot back to the ground. So we're going to do a supine twist a little untraditionally. I think I taught you guys this the other week, but I'll guide you through it once more. So we're going to bring our right foot up and you're going to take that foot and tuck it underneath of your leg, okay? So bringing the right knee down and tucking it underneath. Take your left hand and grab for that foot, okay? Then you're going to bring your left knee up, so it's hovering in the air, and it's going to fold over to the side. So you have your knee with your foot with your hand, and then you're going to use this hand just to guide that knee towards the ground. It might not touch there, that's totally okay. Taking your gaze over towards the left and feeling that full body twist. Untwisting, coming back through center, setting both feet down on the ground once more, bringing that left foot up and threading it underneath of the right leg, grabbing a hold of the foot, and then bringing that right ankle up, the right knee up, and crossing it over, taking the gaze out towards the right. Untwisting, unwinding. Taking any last movements that you need to before setting yourself up for your final resting pose. Ideally, in your final resting pose, you want to take up as much space as you can on your mat. So separating the arms away from the body, separating the legs, allowing the feet to splay out wide, fingertips slightly curled in their natural position, palms up towards the ceiling. Feeling the body grounded with the mat and the earth. Beginning to slow down the breath, maybe gently shutting down the eyes. Allowing the body to relax and absorb the benefits of our yoga practice.
Sometimes the road gets rough. Don't be dismayed when you come to a pothole, a detour, a stretch of rough and rocky road. Don't be surprised. Slow down a little. Be patient. It's not the whole journey. It's not the way it will always be. But it is a part of your journey too. Part of your journey to your heart and soul. Even when we're living with joy and freedom, we continue to learn, grow, feel, experience. And the road can still get rough. Happiness doesn't mean feeling gleeful all the time. Happiness doesn't mean the road we're traveling is always smooth. Happiness means all we need to feel. And happiness means feeling all we need to feel. And accepting each part of the journey, even the changes of course and direction. Feel all your feelings. Feel your fear and frustration about slowing down. Then settle in for the ride. You may not be going as fast as you'd like, but the journey hasn't stopped. You're not doing anything wrong. You're going slower, but you're still moving. Beginning to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Slowly bringing movement back into your body. Being kind and gentle with yourself. Rolling over to your side and maybe hugging your knees in. And then coming back up to seated in your own time. Bringing your hands to your forehead, your third eye of wisdom. And repeating after me. I am safe. I am abundant. I am wealthy. I am prosperous. I am strong. I am stable. I am secure. I am courageous. I am powerful. I am grounded. I am successful. I am protected. I am secure. I am in control. The light in me loves and honors the light in each and every one of you. Go forth with your evening with love in your heart and light in your eyes. Namaste. Let me stop the recording.